Since their inception, digital tachographs have been controversial. By far the biggest issue that operators faced was what we call the 1 minute rule. It was the way that driving time was calculated over any given minute that wiped away hours of a typical driving week. Thankfully, from October 2011, that piece of legislation has been rewritten, thereby freeing up time, bringing efficiencies back to operators. We're here today in Ayrshire, at the yard of T. French & Son Limited, to see how they've been getting on with Stoneridge's new SE5000 Exakt tachograph. Stoneridge is the first company to launch a product that matches these new rules. So I'm interested to see just how that product has helped this company increase its efficiency. David Carmichael is Transport Manager here at T. French & Son, responsible for over 70 trucks in the fleet. David, we've heard so much about the 1 minute rule ever since digital tachographs came into play. How big has it been an issue for you? What's the impact been on the business?
It's had a big impact in our business, to the detriment of the company, to be honest. The drivers are struggling to fulfil their daily shift. We are losing much more time on the local haulage as the long haul haulage, but the long haul haulage is the key to the whole operation. The drivers work very close to the 90-hour fortnight, and we're losing, and on average I would say, between 2.5 and 6 hours, depending on what type of vehicles they are driving.
I know you've done a lot of testing with the new SE5000 Exakt, but I'm going to come back to that later on. First of all, let's go and talk to Stoneridge. Amanda Robertson, your marketing manager at Stoneridge. Legislation always drives technological innovation, technological change, and this time with the change in the 1 minute rule, it looks like it's changed for the better. How's Stoneridge reacted?
Well, obviously, being a tachograph manufacturer, we need to comply with tachograph legislation. The tachograph legislation for the 1 minute rule comes into play for new vehicles in October this year. But what we realised is that many operators out there are desperate to get the savings back in their tachographs. So we've been the first to type approve the new 1 minute rule tachograph. We had it available in April this year, and we're trying to push and trying to give operators the ability to get that time back.
Let's face it, digital tachographs when they first came in weren't the, shall we say, most user-friendly products on the marketplace. I understand with SE5000 and its incarnation SE5000 Exakt that you've made some improvements to the usability of the products.
That's right, yes. Obviously with the change from analogue to digital, it was always going to be difficult. But we have listened hard to our customers, to our drivers, to our transport managers, and we've made significant improvements to both the unit and the download times to make life for the transport industry much better.
Thanks a lot, Amanda. Peter Flick is Customer Support Team Leader at Stoneridge. He's just going to take us through the key benefits and features of SE5000. Peter, over to you.
Yes, card insertion withdrawal times have been greatly improved over previous revisions. Also the manual entry process itself has been made easier for the drivers. They can get about their daily work with a minimum of ease and no fuss. We have a rest until now function where we can record rest until we last had the card in.
It's a bigger font size and easier to read.
Exactly, yeah, easier to read, larger pictograms. We have mode changes now, which are indicated with much larger pictograms, easy to see.
Sure.
Navigating through the menus, we can see now a daily drive total.
Brilliant.
So very helpful for EU legislation. Driver can see his daily limits.
And I understand the printout is easier to read as well.
Yes, indeed. We've added some new options within the tachograph itself that we can take a printout at card withdrawal time, which we didn't have previously. The printout itself is based on standard pictograms and is easily accessible from two options within the tachograph, either just printing out daily or at the end, as I said, with card withdrawal.
Perfect. Thanks, Peter. Right, we're back in the traffic office again with David Carmichael. David, take us through the trials that you've been running.
We ran it the 10 weeks from the 1st of November right through into the end of December, when the guy lost an average of 3 hours and 50 minutes per week. Since the new tachograph has been fitted, it has vastly reduced to 49 minutes, an hour and 3 minutes, an hour and 23 minutes. If you average it over the 5-week period, we've cut his deficit from 3 hours 50 minutes to 1 hour 10 minutes, allowing me 2 hours 40 minutes per week more in that vehicle, which is a huge impact in his 90-hour fortnight.
Sure.
And gives me 5 hours at the end of the second week to get the driver home.
So a big tick in the traffic office then for SE5000 Exakt. Let's go and see what the driver thinks. Bill Grosey is one of the local drivers here at T French & Son, and he's been running with the SE5000 Exakt tachograph for the past 5 or 6 weeks. Bill, they're telling me you're doing more loads and saving time left, right and centre.
Well, throughout the day, for example, one of the other drivers, we were both in the same job, and I managed to do an extra load and stop in the exact same place with 15 minutes to spare.
And the product itself, is that easier to use now?
It's far easier to use. I find that the symbols is more clearer on the dash and on the equipment itself.
Fantastic, so definitely a happy driver.
Oh, definitely, it's wonderful.
Very good. So there you have it. A happy operator, a happy driver doing more loads and being more efficient, and a manufacturer that's very much listening to its customers and reacting to legislation to develop a product in the SE5000 Exakt that's very much fit for purpose. What's more, there's a retrofit programme, and at this stage a £100 discount towards that retrofit from Stoneridge to make the pill a little easier to swallow. Go to se5000.com for all the details. We think this is something that's definitely worth having a look at seriously.